Mustapha killed Rewani. Abacha killed Rewani. In the absence of something like this, the whole world will never ever believe me. I will never stand to be vindicated. But then, my Lord, you need to know why I am today in prison. Am I the Mustapha painted, or am I another human being? 3 years, believe me, my Lord, in the spirit of solidarity, in the spirit and faith in God Almighty, I decided to keep quiet, never to talk. That's why I told you the other day, when my counsel asked me being described by some of the papers as a drowning man, I said, I have not talked. I only talked on expired information. But I gave it a thought. Out of sympathy to Mrs. Bagauda Kalto, I will talk on little hard information. And I know it will help this country. It will help this commission a great deal, and it will help this commission. Now the question, people want to know, why did some people decide to team up themselves and decided to take us away from the society and hide us and never to give us any iota of freedom? With every respect and humility, the President Commander-in-Chief has been blindfolded about us. And I will explain. Even he himself, Mr. President Commander-in-Chief, through this commission, he has been blindfolded. And let me start. Pardon me, my Lord, if you hear me talking about economic issues. I will give one example.
Let's finish with Kalto.
No, my Lord, this is the only way you can understand it.
Provided we don't forget Kalto.
My Lord, yes.
All right.
My Lord, the issue is like...
The film is ready.
My Lord, the issue is, the main case is Bagauda Kalto's case. I have backing examples to show you the intrigues in high places that is blindfolding several bodies to see the truth. That's all. But when I give these examples, my Lord, I want with all respect that this honorable commission take a look at them and understand that behind activities there are several intrigues. So when you see me digressing giving examples, it's because I want to convince you and tell you where these exhibits are. That's why I'm starting with the office and with the person of Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of Nigeria. My Lord, on Bagauda Kalto's case first, and this Pariwani's case first, before I go into the example I wanted to give, I request, with all respect, that CP Dambaba be brought to speak the truth. Now, my Lord, the example I wanted to give, during General Abacha's time, I'm starting with an economic issue, so that even if I don't give all the reasons, Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief will understand one key problem. What do I mean by that? But let me support myself with one document. The position of the President, Commander-in-Chief, as far back as 1994 in Washington, D.C., USA. After it is standard, I'll give the reference, my Lord.
The document you are referring to, representing the position of Commander-in-Chief, if you see it, will you recognize the document?
Yes, my Lord.
Have a look at this one, whether it is the one.
It is, my Lord.
My Lord, I seek to tender this document from the bar. Yes, I tender it through the witness. Sorry, my Lord. Sorry, my Lord, I've been overworked today.
You have afraid?
No, my Lord.
Exhibit 25.
As the commission pleases, give it back to him.
I thought it says 5. Huh? That's what I thought. Covering letter is 25. I see.
Then this is 26, yes.
26 then?
Yes, my Lord. We are here to read the recorded 45 in Nigeria's case, my Lord.
Yes.
Give it to him, give it to him. Just read the portion that is relevant so that we save the commission's time, please.
Yes, my Lord. My Lord, in 1994, President Obasanjo traveled to United States of America, and he went to Center for International and Strategic Studies, Washington, D.C., May the 12th to be precise. In one of the things he said, and one of his lasting ambitions for Nigeria, he said, and I quote from this report, that the interim government of Nigeria should have 2 years to clear the mess. Correction, sorry. Should have 2 years to clear the mess, install basic discipline, stabilize the currency and the economy. This is the way Mr. President Assad then continued to look at Nigeria. His maiden speech confirmed this assertion. If this is the case, my Lord, then let me give you a classical example of some of the intrigues and high places. With this in mind, for us to understand clearly, during General Abacha's time, the person that became the Minister of Finance during General Abdulsalami Abubakar was under investigation for being an agent against Nigeria, for economic sabotages. And if there are doubts, I want the former Minister of Finance, Mr. Makelani, to be called to throw more lights. No sooner General Abacha died, this same man who was conniving with other countries to kill Naira against Nigeria became Minister of Finance. These same people, my Lord, and I want, if I'm wrong, I want to be called in the eyes of the world that I am wrong or I told lies. This same man, along with General Abdulsalami Abubakar, left behind conceived ideas to create new currencies, the 100 Naira notes, the 200 Naira notes, and the 500 Naira notes. It was part of what they left for President Obasanjo to execute. President Obasanjo now came, and because it is a clique, and because they don't want to hand over power to him, and I have my reasons to say, plenty of them to come, he is now there. The circumstances that brought about him becoming there are also another thing, but I want to just highlight on the intrigues. If there are economists in this hall or anywhere, I want to be quoted as wrong. If the issue of domestic currency displacement is wrong, if it is wrong as a key cause of any inflation or destroying the domestic currency of any country in the whole world over, or if it is acceptable. Now, from the little knowledge I have on what is called DCD, domestic currency displacement, they didn't tell Mr. President this one. They went ahead and introduced this 100, 200, and 500 Naira notes. I have my reasons. I want to say something, my Lord. The President has been under attack. It's a calculated issue. How? We had before the new currency, 1 Naira note, 5 Naira, 20 Naira, and 50 Naira before the new ones. My Lord, the formula says if you add the old currency before you add new one into domestic currency, and then take the average of it, whatever percentage you get, that is the rate of DCD effect in the inflation of the country as at that time. Before this new currency came, my Lord, the price of Gari was far, far below than what it is today. If you add this, it will give you, on Nigeria's aspect, 17.5% effect on it. But again, haven't come to introduce the new currency, 100, 200, and 500. If you add all and take the average, you will have 800, and divide by 3, you will get 263.5%. The variation is the stand of the price. That's why before the currency came, what you had as price of Gari was 30 Naira. Today, the same Gari that cost 30 Naira costs 120 Naira. And Mr. President cannot get the answer. And they came standing around him to tell him a different thing, far away from the truth. I am not an economist, but I love to learn always. My Lord, Mr. President has been disgraced, wanting to find out the solution as to whether it is Nigerians that are in high places that are now eating Gari, or the Gari is being exported out. Is far from it. This is the game design. When you have new currency, you also have an understanding with the country that produced that new currency. Then you have fake currency coming into the circulation. Right now, the 100, 200, and 500 are more in circulation than the 1 naira up to 50 naira, which is to say that only the big man's type of domestic currency is in circulation. The poor man's currency that is supposed to be in circulation has been mopped up for the poor man to suffer, for President Obasanjo to fail. I want him to reflect and reason. I know why I'm talking to him like this. But my Lord, if this is not told, I can see a situation whereby when people keep mute from saying the truth at the right time, not because of the interest of President Olusegun Obasanjo as a person, but because of the common masses, because of the Nigerians that suffer day by day. Day by day, I repeat, day by day. So my Lord, this point I'm given is intentional. I'm coming to that, my Lord. But if they can, my Lord, if they can now deviate from criminal issues into economic issues with the same intrigues, then when will Nigeria ever get to the heights of the dreams of our people, of our fathers yesterday and the young ones tomorrow? Then how can your recommendations now be seen to support the government of the day? When you submit recommendations for reconciliation with people that are hungry and angered, there will never be reconciliation. That's why I brought this point, my Lord.
Sorry, my Lord, the video is ready now. Maybe we have this so that we watch it. My Lord, the video is ready.
So, well, what he's saying is relevant, but not in this case. It's relevant when we talk, I don't know when you were there, when we talk about systems.
Yes, my Lord. If I may say something, my Lord, with the greatest respect to my Lord.
Hold it. You haven't even known what I'm talking about.
I know, okay.
That most of our headache is in the system.
Yes, my Lord. And if I may go further.
And then, well, we may explore that later on when we have this special hearing.
As the court pleases, as the commission pleases. My Lord will even know more when we discuss this exhibit. The most important thing, my Lord, is that some people appear to be too decent for this generation.
Structural, the word is structural injustice.
Yes, my Lord.
I ask you people to make their research. I'm conducting mine, and I want to compare your investigations and research with mine. Structural injustice. The headache we have is structural.
Yes, my Lord.
And in the system itself.
Yes, my Lord.
Men will come and go, the system still
remains. Yes, my Lord. Play the tape. The table.
What is your job? You're a businessman. What type of business do you do? Come and sell in Lagos. What work do you do? You're a driver. Yes, you drive who? How long have you been driving? A year and 8 months. What's your name? Sylvester? Yes, yes. What is your job? You're a driver. Who do you drive? With whom? Ampara. Today. Yes. What is your job? You work in a hotel. Which hotel? Venus Hotel. Located at which place? at your estate. Okay, you all are aware that you are all brought in because of the death of late Chief Alfred Rewani. We want you to tell us how you people come to be involved in that matter. How you come to be involved in that matter, and how you are connected to that matter. I will want Lucky to start. Tell us whatever you know, you let us know. I want to follow step by step. Lucky, you work as a gate man. In the man's house. Now, what did you know about this operation? Yes.
I used to eat with what we died. Got me from alarm.
You are talking about yesterday now. I'm asking you something that happened in one year's house and you started by yesterday.
This issue.
What do you know about
this issue? That's what you asked. All I know, Boko drove me and I shot him. That was what I knew.
That's all? That's all you know? Good.
Secondly, sir.
I mean, we can see visually, but what is...
No, I'm coming, sir.
No. What I'm saying is, I just want us to know what it is we are looking for, because we can't hear what is going on. And I thought if somebody could take us through by way of explanation.
Talk them down together. One of my... If they talk and so I think we get people who go bongo in that house that will get small money for drink. So that my friend Sonny is okay. He will look for people. But for myself I say I don't know because I don't really get a chance to stay for houses like that. So that my friend Sonny comes to okay, he will look for people because that boy know they work. That's of course he will look for people. So that's how at times he will come to me, tell me say he don't get people, he never get it. At one time can't bring two boys for me one Sunday morning, one day 10 in the morning. So put them for road, can't bring them. Come my house, tell me say people the boys don't come. So I went out. I went out with my friend Esho. Esho stayed in the same house. We went there. We meet those boys, Alex and Joe. We meet them.
What was the date? Sorry for drugging, but do you remember the date of the time with the call? Around what time? Around what time of the year?
Since I don't remember the date of the day.
About how many months ago?
So around early September.
Okay, carry on.
So I can't tell them, see how the song today, see how the boy tell us. Because okay, how they will take see the boy now. I need to see the boy. I will see the boy. As the boy say he wants.
Listen, when you say see how something be, just tell us exactly what you told them. Because someone told you the story and you repeated the story for them.
Yes, sir.
You repeated the story for them. Just repeat the story as you got it, as you told them.
So one of my friends, if you will get people when we come bumble their house, so whether we will get small money or do good. So they go ask me whether the man get money. I say I don't know because I'm not working there. So the boy just tell me say they are gonna get money. So they come ask me how will we get the boy. I say so to get the boy I will still go there, call the boy. So I will call the boy. So that morning we come went there. come went there. So they come wait for road. So I went there, go their house, go their gate, I know meet am, say come on. If they off, just mention his name. If you are taking, mention
the name of that person when they off duty that day.
Lucky.
Okay.
If they off that day.
Where is that Lucky? Point to him. Point to him. Let's see the Lucky that you are talking to.
So come back. So in the evening, they say okay, they will come back in the evening. So in the evening we can't come back. After they come back now we can't jump Lucky or road.
What place? Which place in Nigeria?
If you just come up for that, you can enter inside GRO. We can't jump for that road. So we can't take us to one hotel. I don't know if it's called that hotel. That place is like water park. So we can't go there.
Where?
For GRO there. So we can't reach there now. He with that boy, Alex from the Alex for the speak. Yeah. Now I don't understand the language too much. I don't hear their language. So the phone talk, Alex go to okay, make you look here. Like I think can do it. That's what will happen. So we go. So at times I will raise there, say how far you tell me say you never come, you never see them. And that's for me will come. That's for me now. So for me will go see them. When they will come see me after I never see them. I see them they run around. Come reach one certain time. But lucky don't meet it if they come. Lucky be saying they come on behalf of their master when their master know them. That's what Lucky told them.
Lucky told them that the day they will come.
And make
they come when the man know they.
When the man know they. Will be breaking and entry. So there's a certain time the something know they will not come to see them again. So what an Sonico confronted me say, Alex, don't go back to Benin. So I can't forget everything. I don't come to see them again. Lucky, I don't see Lucky. I don't see Sonny. So one day I go work. When I come back now, I come back around 10. When I come back now, I come meet my second work day for house, shop. They tell me say Lucky bring some money. From where so they don't go that operation. Which operation for which day they come go like that? If we don't bring the money, this is I think what's funny now, if you don't see Sonny, they don't come, so you don't drop the money, come on, say they come. You don't drop the money, say they come. So we can't do like that to the following morning.
How much is the money that was dumped, that was dropped?
Yes. That's 15,000 cash. I booked 15,000. Look up to the rest of 15,000 cash, like for Naira.
Okay.
With dollar and traveler's check.
How much is the dollar and the traveler's check?
The dollar now $400 and traveler's check on 50-50 a bit. 50-50, 250. Following the ego change the money.
No change the money.
There was no pound sterling. Pound sterling did that time.
Pound sterling was we get 2010-5. 2010-5.
Who changed the money?
Aisha.
Huh?
Aisha.
Oh, your name?
Effiong.
So he changed the money. When I come back, in that the following day on Saturday, this thing happened on Friday evening. So on Saturday morning, I went to work. So when I did work now, after they say for me finally come my working place, he meet me.
How much longer are we waiting?
When I come back,
I was just going to say the brief summary.
Give us a summary of what
I
is.
prefer that the commission watch it within the comfort of their office so that they will understand what is happening. But the most important thing is that these are the real people who conspired and confessed to the killing of Riwane. But Riwane is sorry. And then somewhere along the line, somebody is missing, somebody is dead, somebody is could not be found or whatever.
I haven't got the summary. Can we then go on?
Yes, my
and
lord.
see who
We
conspired.
want to stop the tape from here so that we go to Bagalda fully.
Yes.
Yes.
Because we have a video in the office. We can play this in the office.
Yes, my lord.
It's
We are
already
okay
in
with that.
evidence.
We are very okay with that.
Yes. On this one.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I mean, are we coming back to this Rewane case? Because I know we're going back to Bagauda, but while the witness is still where he is, while Mustapha is still there, because if you remember, we had all these stories, but the testimony given by Mrs. Rewane herself raised a lot of questions. And among other things, it was alleged that the IG gave a press conference saying, in fact, specifically naming what African country some of these people are supposed to allegedly have fled to. And if, as he says, he commanded that kind of a position, how does that tie up? Because the issue was that, yes, some people were arrested and they made confessions, but somehow the story didn't all add up well. So that's why I was just asking if there are any other insights before we...
Well, my lord, all we have is the cassette which speaks for itself. I'm sure by the time you watch it, all your answers, all your questions will be answered. But it is equally important that we know, by way of record, that at the death of that man, the newspapers all said that he was killed by Abacha. It's very, very important.
Yes, I have, my lord. I have.
So he will go ahead now, my lord. Thank you.
My lord, relating the film and the case at hand is a classical example of how cases were managed. And the emphasis here for this honorable body to know is that when preliminary investigations are established, it is the officers that are in charge of that given area. But at a later date, it is a new body that is established to go and just carry out what they are told to do about the same case. So you'll find out that contents of preliminary report now differs from the later days findings. It is these differences that actually that is considered to be the main intrigues in cases. There are many more, I'm sure. There are many more. And that's why I said the case of Kalto, if my back is brought, the preliminary report submitted by SSS, the preliminary report submitted by the police, and then the pictures submitted with Kalto's picture and with his name written, handwritten, behind the pictures lies the problem. Because here, I never actually read the petition. I didn't even know what the matter was all about, other than when my counsel told me that my name was mentioned in Kano as having knowledge as to the whereabouts of the body. I now became interested. So when I had ACPB testifying here for the first time last week, and today the DCP that came and testified, then I realized there's a problem. The particular problem here is the man died supposedly on the 18th. On the 19th, based on the findings of the DCP, they only took a picture of a dead man. The name was not known. Then how did the name become known to the CNC the next day on the 19th? Which is to say that information as to the realities of issues were managed between the people and the authority. And the question is, why did they rush in telling the late CNC? And another issue is, when the life of the family of the late CNC at that time were threatened from the same bombs, when inside the presidency we were on our toes checking bombs because there were a lot of threats for bombs into the presidency, how can a case of a bomb be hurriedly done? Even if the man is dead, particularly at the seat of government, they will want to know the man. Even if the hand, as from the pictures I saw, the hands were broken, but part of the fingers were still there, we were interested in the fingerprints. Even if they could not identify the person and say, is the real man, we want to know the dead body. Even if you don't want the family to know, looking at it from the security point of view, it has so much more. The impact the bomb had on his body is of concern to us. Because this is to say, if there is a bomb that can only damage flesh, but it cannot damage other substance around, including currency, we want to know that type of bomb so we can take precaution for our VIPs. So, my lord, in this case, there is so much to do. But from my understanding, from just last week and today, I have understood one thing. Because of this compartmentalization of investigation, which is a formula on management of investigation applied in this case, or in these two cases, I can say that I have seen officers in the field who were only used to carry out phases of investigation. They have carried out phases of investigation. Somebody somewhere who told them to do it knows it all. They only knew their own part. So they are only coming here to defend their own part. They cannot defend the entire totality of the investigation. So the person who pushed them to do the totality, the preliminary and the later findings put together gives you a real picture. But the preliminary cannot give you any picture, my lord. The later findings cannot give you any picture without the preliminary. It is put the two together that gives you a picture. So whatever they said, I know this honorable body will end up having a deduction. That deduction will not give you nothing, my lord, because the authority that said they should go and do the preliminary, the same authority that said go and do the later findings or detailed findings is seated somewhere there who knows it all. Unless that person comes and tell you the truth, in the interest of reconciliation and love for this country, you will never see any picture, and these four officers will always be called bad names, and their families. But the question, my lord, is, if there are several classical examples of this, then why are such big men afraid of some of us? I want to give few examples because it will help you, my lord. Let me take an example, Abiola's case. I know I have testified in Lagos, but I'm begging this commission, I am humbly begging that I have not finished. I will talk. There is more to it.
We will recall you, don't worry about that.
And
Let
one
me
more,
have the exhibit, the photographs.
one more request, my lord, is that there is one police officer who was instructed to bring Abiola on the day Abiola died. That police officer has since been suspended since then. He was neither working. He was not told that he was dismissed or retired. He is not taking salary. And he's still hanging because of the little he knows about Abiola's case.
All right, let's come back to our case.
No, my lord, I have my reasons. The issue of fear is the issue that created compartmentalization on a case like this.
Yes, we've had that one.
No, my lord, let me mention the police
I'd
officer.
like us to at least be ad idem, as the lawyers say, whether a bomb can produce here, what you see here.
Yes, my
Show
lord.
in the photographs. Exactly. Let's be on record that they saw the photograph. You've said it obliquely. I want you to say it directly. Look at these photographs and give us your expert view. Can a bomb detonated by somebody not shatter him? Can a bomb produce this sort of thing? No. Because that's our guess is that this is not the result of a bomb. A bomb that removes clothing, removes shoes, removes everything.
My lord, first of all, let me say that this particular picture was among those given to me. But the ones that were brought did not contain this. That is the last one.
And they said these were the results of a bomb blast.
Yes, my lord. This was also part of what was given to me.
I see.
The DGSSS sent it, then Peter Nwodua and Inspector General of Police Komasi. They brought it to the late CNC. All I was doing was getting access to know what was in the file. And I was given the pictures to keep on our way to the airport. When I returned, they were filed. That's why I said, we checked the office of the President Commander-in-Chief, the police file is there, the SS file is there. And my bags, because I also kept copies.
But do you confirm our suspicion that a bomb blast cannot produce such
my lord,
what we are seeing?
I have a lot of doubt of what I am seeing. The issue is what category of bomb, what percentage. The second is at what distance was the bomb from his body.
The man was carrying the bomb.
If he was
carrying the bomb,
if he was,
from our evidence.
Then, my lord, if he was carrying the bomb, you have a classical example of a case you have here in this commission, the case of Delegua, parcel on his lap and part of his got caught. If the bomb was on him, he could have also been caught like him. But why is he intact?
Just to
And my lord?
Major Mustapha, let me just, I want a clarification just on one little point.
Yes, my lord.
Namely that if assuming that the DGSSS, the Inspector General of Police,
Yes, my lord.
brought these pictures to the CNC,
Yes, my lord.
let me just for the sake of argument say this is evidence of job completed. Let me put it, I mean, the job you asked us to do has been completed. I want to know, given your proximity with the CNC, what was his immediate reaction in seeing these pictures?
As him giving them the assignment done by him?
Well, yes, that's why I say it's for the sake of an argument. I'm making a hypothetical case because the fact that they would have brought these pictures to him would, I'm not saying it is the case, but hypothetically,
what I know is every security chief had access to the late CNC. Every security chief reports occurrence in writing and verbal, particularly if it is an incident. To me, as at that time, they must have reported it because it's a case of bomb. Because it's a bomb, they reported bomb explosion in Dover Hotel.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, did the CNC, because why did the CNC not order further investigation?
My lord, why did the IG raise the glass between his discussions with the late CNC and I? Why was I not privileged to know? The question is, why should Komasi now be seen to tell these poor officers to come and testify and get themselves disgraced? He has a good name, they have a bad name. The question is, nobody is taking him to court. Nobody wants him prosecuted. The question is, some people have been painted to be bad. So when these cases count, we that are in Kirikiri, no chance to speak. We are the ones. They who have known and did, they are the best in the society. That is all I want the commission to understand, that now time has come, we should talk at least with some classical examples of what hard information is all about. The question is, why should Mustapha not know? And the answer is Mustapha aware a bit on it? They never knew that this commission will come when they told President Obasanjo that heinous crimes were committed by Mustapha and co. They never knew you were going to come. Most of the petitions that came, some of them, I will talk at a later date when you finish. They came because they prepared the petitions. Lieutenant Umar's case, the cousin to General Abdulsalam Abubakar had his petition prepared by the same man. And that's why I said, get these classical examples and the reason for the fears and why some of these things are happening. Look at ACPB, for example. He has a terrible name in the country. But sincerely speaking, in the spirit of reconciliation, ACPB, is he aware of most of these things he did? Can he defend it? No, he cannot. It is only forgiveness and reconciliation that will put him through. Is it his offense? But if the much ACPB has defended, that is not up to 10% of what I came to defend, is keeping me in prison and is keeping LCPB in the town free, then something is wrong.
All right. Bala. All right. Thank you very much. We can now...
My lord. My lord.
Finish.
My lord.
My lord.
My lord.
Have you more to get from him?
No, my lord.
In respect of this case.
No, my lord.
We are calling you again. So many other cases. So
yes, my lord. In fact, I was even more prepared to sit down with my client and ask whether he has something to say. But I do know that my own thinking, and it was the thinking of the commission to Andiba in Kanu, that the best starting point is the signatory of the letter that says the man in that picture is Bagada Kalto. Then the next important person is the man who was staying with him, who was equally an SSS man, who is still alive.
Have you seen the exhibit? I don't think there's much doubt about that, you know.
Yes,
if you look at the exhibit, I think it's 20-something.
Yeah.
The only thing is that it's inconceivable that a bomb can produce such minor injuries.
Some form of explanations are required.
Remove your clothes, remove your shoes, remove your pants, remove everything. For the meantime, thank you very much. We'll call you again.
My Lord, I know you will call me my Lord, but I don't want to argue.
We want to stop this case and go to another case.
One issue. I know, my Lord. ASP Zadok should be invited against Abiola's case. The officer, I think...
Take details. Give them the details.
ASP Zadok.
Where is he serving now?
He's supposed to be in the presidency, but he's neither there nor nowhere. Because he was the one that brought Abiola on the last day by General Abdulsalam Abubakar. There's so much to it. And I wanted to give so many examples for the commission to understand, but I know there is no time. I pray I'm given the time to give these examples.
Thank you.
Thank you, my Lord.
No, I'm just pleading that we give him 10 minutes and then you can. Yeah, take the next 10 minutes and then you can round up.
I appreciate, my Lord. My Lord, the fears. I'm only going to talk about the fears and go away. Fears, and then the misrepresentation of true issues to the government of the day. Now, when General Abacha was alive, there were a lot of rumors of people who came here and said so much, and some went to the papers and spoke on the issue of self-sustaining. The question is, whose ambition was it to have that self-sustaining? Was it General Abacha? My Lord, the answer is, and I'm sure, people do not know this. A drama was to happen, and that's the way I saw it, and somebody announced an ambition. Who was that person? The same person I am talking about in this case, Alhaji Ibrahim Komasi, was his own idea. How? He was to head an ING. Service chiefs were to be retired. New ones were to come. He was to handle the election. This was his proposal. And when eventually General Abacha died, he quickly switched his loyalty to General Abdulsalam Abubakar. If you can give me time, much more could be said. I'm introducing it. Let me rush to the next thread. In 1994, my Lord, I'm telling you why we are kept, so that we don't give light on cases that at least we knew that existed in file. Second, 1994, the same Ibrahim Komasi was to be retired. General MC Ali, Abdullahi Ahmed, then GOC 1 Division. Most of them found him unfit because he was considered to be epileptic. I was interrogated badly. I was tortured badly by an SIP established by the same Komasi and Abdulsalam Abubakar on this same matter, and I said it, under severe torture. I have a lot of marks on my body. I don't want to talk about it now. But again, this same man thought that I was part and parcel of that team. His hatred started against us all along. The cases we have in court were stage managed and pre-planned. I was not part of it, and I hope he is watching. I was not part of removing him. If I was, I will say it. There is nothing he can do. I was not. So those who wanted to remove him and the things he did and the hatred he showed onto me and several things, campaign of calumny he carried against me, was one of these issues and is one of the reasons why we are in prison. Now General Bamai, when they had a council meeting, General Bamai said to General Abdulsalam Abubakar,
there's something like contempt of court. If a matter is in another court, we need not discuss it here. Why they are in prison should not be mentioned at all.
I am not part of that, my
It's
Lord.
before a court.
Yes, but my Lord will know that I'm not part of that.
I don't say you are part. Warn him. He's your client.
No, my Lord, the commission said they are giving him 5 more minutes. 10.
my Lord,
So, in fact,
My Lord.
in response to that, I was sitting down. So, he's aware now that that's the position.
I'm sure that when he mentioned that, he will stand up and tell him no.
As the
you are
court
going
pleases.
too far.
okay,
Well,
I'm sorry, my Lord.
I have
It
mentioned
is-
that to him.
My Lord, I'm sorry. It is only because it is interwoven between the intrigues that took me to court and the intrigues that Nigerians need to know to get reconciliation done. That's all. And I hope the court will remove the content because of the interests of Nigeria. I want Nigerians to know, away from the contempt I'm given. It's not intentional. My Lord, another issue is the issue of 2 million man march 2 million man march was Mustapha's initiation confirmed. I initiated it. I initiated it for the following reasons. My Lord, I initiated it for the following reasons. I believe that the youth of this country, and this is the only thought I came up with, should not be seen to be used by the politicians only when it comes to election. And no sooner elections is done, these young men will be left in the street to go back to crimes. There won't be peace. Even if you have reconciliation, the same human rights issues will go. So based on this, I initiated that the youth should come and speak to themselves. But no sooner I gathered them, speakers were garnered by this same person who wanted to become the head of ING for the election. And yet at the end of the day, it was considered that whatever was said at the 2 million man march, it was Mustapha's initiation. My Lord, I was investigated by a panel. This matter is not in court, but I was dealt with by Sanni Abacha and Ibrahim Komasi. I am saying it now loud and clear for the world to know. Much has been written about it. And even the president of the country was misbriefed that I initiated it with a view to continue with the self-sufficiency. No, my love for the young ones will never ever be out of my sight. Now the next one, my lords, is the issue of Yaka says prison not. This was an article written by Sanni Abacha, his CSO, and Ibrahim Komasi. This thing was taken to Source magazine simply because they want me dealt with. When the issue of coup against me was off, they decided to write that so that I will continue to be in detention. The reason is they don't want me to talk on cases like that of Kalto in case it comes. Thank God that the wisdom in the leadership has brought about this commission. I'm rushing, my Lord. I don't want to say much. Now, my Lord, there is another terrible issue, and I think Nigerians need to know. For nothing, I want to tender those exhibits. So much money has been handed over. I want this cleared. I handed over the sum of 500 million naira to General Sanni Abacha when General Abacha died. I handed over, I have all the exhibits to tender, because tomorrow another person will come and say, if you had submitted that type of money and handed over to him when General Abacha died, where is the money? It is in handing and taking over notes between himself and I. The same copies of handing and taking over notes are in my bags. There were vehicles, my Lord, total 23 assorted. All the papers are here, photocopies of the documents. Mercedes limousines were bought. They are all in Mina. Six warehouses were built by JB and a farm. These vehicles are distributed there. At Gwarimpa, soon after General Abacha died, people were told in NTA, and I was investigated on that, on an issue that was totally false. Houses, 45 of them in Gwarimpa, they were called Mustapha's housing estate. My Lord, I don't have thirst for money, no material. I believe in integrity. These houses are General Abubakar's own houses today. He shared it to himself and to his boys and girlfriends. They are there. I want it confirmed. And for the avoidance of doubt, my Lord.
Okay, hold on.
2 more points, I go away.
Hold on.
2 more points, I go away, my Lord.
Hold on. Just one moment. Please, let me just point out. No, it's okay. No, you'll get your 2 points. Hold on. Please. Can we have your attention, please? Well, you know, I just like to make the point, you know, because in listening to these discussions and these testimonies, that we just try and keep our focus on this nation. I know individuals have very important roles to play, but we just don't want you to use the opportunity to settle personal scores. Let's just remain clearly focused, and also hope that other people who are not immediately here to defend themselves, but that people will also have a chance to state their own side of the story. But let's just keep straight on the main issues that relate to national reconciliation.
My Lord.
So we just take the next minute and a half, and then
1 minute and a half I go. All I said is in the spirit of reconciliation. Why, my Lord? Because if we are here having our rights being abused with a stage-managed case like the case at hand, Kaltos case, because the leadership is kept away from knowing the truth, and we have no any other way to say the truth because we don't have nobody to tell our truth. Now that you are talking of human rights, all we are saying is that intrigues in high places is keeping the vision of the leadership to see some of the truth to be able to reconcile the country. This commission will not be happy to see us in prison at a later date when you finish, to realize that it was, after all, an intrigue of against our human rights that is keeping us in detention. You won't be happy to know that, my Lord. And that's why I'm saying this. He held this country. He ruled the country. He handed over to the immediate president who established and convened this honorable body. If the president does not know, he will know, because the issue of human rights would require legality in terms of findings, but it could require political grounds to be able to get it established and reconcile the country. And that's why I'm touching on political issues. My Lord.
Thank you very much. Then we'll go on with the case. Thank you. Is that the case? Any other witnesses?
My Lord, that is not the case.
Your
Lordship, we were going to make an application, my Lord, before Major Mustapha.
Thank you very much, Al Mustapha. Thank you very much.
Yes,
we'll call you again, but not. Yes?
Yes, my Lord, we. My Lord, we wanted to make an application before Major Mustapha was put in the witness box. My Lord, back to the point Learned Counsel Nala was trying to make before your Lordship.
Look, if you get 10 of them, will you get anything more than we've got so far?
Yes, my Lord, we believe so, my Lord.
Are you sure?
Yes, my Lord, we believe so.
Are you sure? All right.
Yes, my Lord.
We are John.
It's this SSS man, my Lord.
The difficulty is that
Gazama.
everything here is tailored and doctored.
My Lord, the author of that letter.
All right, we'll give you an adjournment, but you see, you get nowhere.
Yes, my Lord.
Get a view that we can get something more.
My Lord.
Who do you want to call?
My Lord.
Come, it's not working.
Yes, my Lord.
Yes, whom do you want to call?
Not calling. We want to support the application of Learned Counsel, my Lord. That.
Two of you want adjournment?
No, sir. We are supporting the application of counsel.
You don't want adjournment?
My Lord, we are applying that Mr. Gazama, Caleb, and CP Dambaba and Kumasi be called. My Lord,
as a
matter of fact, my Lord,
here?
They are not here now, my Lord.
Therefore,
we are making an application.
Adjournment.
Yes, sir, that they should be
in
called.
order to call them.
Yes, my Lord.
But when asked, do you want adjournment? He said no.
My Lord, no, I was just going to support the application first.
Expert, my Lord. With profound respect, my Lord.
What?
I said with profound respect, my Lord. The issue involved in this case, why Gazama is called, borders on exhibit.
Are you objecting to calling these three witnesses?
I want to.
Are you objecting? They say they want to call three witnesses. Are you objecting?
I want to make a statement, my Lord, if you would allow me, my Lord. My Lord, with due respect to this commission, Gazama is being called in respect of Exhibit 19. Exhibit 19 is not in dispute. It emanated from my client, the State Security Service. If that is the case, anybody from the State Security Service can give evidence on it.
Suppose the counsel for the commission wants to call somebody, can he say, don't call him?
My Lord, what we are saying, my Lord.
I don't see that. They say they want to call three witnesses. Let them call them.
A summon has been issued.
Look, they want to call 3 witnesses. Can you tell them, don't call them? You cannot. Let them call. Let's see what they're coming to say. If they are coming. Yes? When do you want to sing adjourn to?
My Lord, I just want to inform your Lordship that the gentleman in question has already been summoned by the commission, but he has refused to show up, my Lord. We want counsel for the SSS to give an undertaking.
And you are sure he will show up now?
My Lord?
You are sure he will show up now? Good enough to write something on this case. Well?
My Lord, he ought to come. He can supply a few of these missing links, my Lord.
You have summoned him twice. He hasn't come.
Once, I believe.
Once?
Yes, my Lord.
What do you want, a bench warrant or what?
Not yet.
Was he served?
We want Leonard Counsel for the SSS to bring him.
What date then?
My Lord, with due respect to this commission, like I was saying, we are not contesting.
Look, we want a date for adjournment. Finished. Not like you were saying. They want to call witness. If you can help them, help them. If you cannot, don't worry yourself.
That is what I'm saying. I can help them. There is somebody who is seized on the facts of this case that can give this evidence. We are not disputing.
Are you controlling their case for them? Are you counsel for the commission? No. You are counsel for SSS.
My
so
Lord,
when they come cross-examine.
My Lord, it could have been a different thing if we are disputing the exhibit 19. We are saying that exhibit 19.
And we are saying, have you got the legal power to prevent somebody calling witnesses? You have not. So I don't see it.
My Lord, whoever come will not be our assistant to us unless the signatory of that letter. Let him come now. There are so many things to talk about those documents. What is the problem?
The problem is the exhibit 19. Exhibit 19 is not in question.
Give me a date. 19. Wait now.
Okay.
19th, ma.
19th. It's convenient, my Lord. Postmortem of Exhibit 19 will shed more light, I'm sure, my Lord.
Adjourned to 19th for 3 extra witnesses to be called. I hope you call them. I hope you get them that day. Much ado about nothing. But nothing. Well, 696.
Petition number 696, Lieutenant General Oladipo Dia. 696, Lieutenant General Oladipo Dia.
Appearances?
Petitioner absent, my Lord.
Appearances?
With the greatest respect to your Lordship and the Honorable Commissioners, my Lord, I most respectfully appear for the Honorable Commission. My name is Mrs. Chinwe Owandu. Mr. E.I. Akaka will be appearing with me.
With due respect to the Honorable Chairman and members of the Commission, I humbly appear for General Oladipo Dia. My learned friend, Kende Dia, appears with me.
May it please your Lordship and members of the Commission. My name is Umar Shitian. With me is Mr. Nambol for General Sabo and Mormoni, Major Mormoni.
With due respect, my Lord, I appear for Major Hamza Al-Mustapha and Air Vice Marshal Idi Musa. and myself as a witness, my Lord, in this matter. Yes, my Lord.
With profound respect, my Lord and other distinguished members of this commission, my name is Y.C. Michael. My learned friend T. George Tendezwa appears with me for General I.R. Bamai.
Have you finished cross-examination? We are adjourned for you. Are you ready?
My Lord, sir, I would have been perfectly ready, but like I mentioned at the last sitting when I had to break. Yes, my Lord will appreciate the fact that my client has been in prison, and I have been trying to sort out certain very important and crucial documents that would help us in our adequate defense of the allegations against us. So perhaps I might continue, but I won't be able to finish today.
In fact, we have only 1 hour more. If you keep us busy for 1 hour, it's all right.
Or maybe, my Lord, if my learned friend could be taken on the document he tendered, and perhaps it would give me enough time to be able to sort out myself, and then I would just take a whole day to conclude my cross-examination.
Taking on the document he tendered.
Pardon, my Lord?
What do you mean by that? He has tendered the document.
Well, I'm saying, sir, he is supposed to be cross-examined. He is a witness in this petition.
Are you ready for him? Otherwise, Mita will finish with you, then a new witness. He's a witness. But you cross-examine and we adjourned for the cross-examination to continue.
My Lord, there was also in the process of cross-examination. My Lord,
I think we better finish the cross-examination, or go as far as you can. Then you can re-examine.
No, it's not re-examination. My Lord, when witness number 7, that's Brigadier General Sabo, was being cross-examined by my learned friend, Mr. Mekau, 4 tapes were tendered. But 4 tapes were given to the commission, but they were not tendered and marked. And I would humbly ask,
by you or by them?
By the witness.
I see.
And they are in the custody of the commission. I think there is a need to clear this issue.
Where is the registry? Are the tapes with you? Huh? They were not marked.
No, they were not marked, my Lord. We would humbly apply that they be marked, tendered and marked. 5, sorry, there are 5 tapes.
So many tapes now, I don't know whether they were marked.
There are 5, my Lord, not 4.
All right. What was the last exhibit? So we can
51.
make the exhibit what?
51, the last exhibit.
51, then 4 will be 51, 50.
There are 5
tapes.
There are 5.
So add 5 to 51.
52 A, B, C.
56.
Okay, 56.
56. Well, make a note.
A, B.
5 tapes will be exhibit 52, 53, 54, 55, 56.
My Lord, if we can, since they are just emanating from one person, if we can take the 52 A, B, C, D to enable us, because we don't know the labeling on these tapes.
All right. If you like, make them 52. A, B, C, D. Register, rather than having each a number, 52 A, B, C, D.
My Lord, may I apply that the tape? My Lord, at this stage, may I apply that the tapes be played?
That's the point we are talking about. The press, they're in chambers, they're not here.
Oh, I see.
I wanted to play them so that I have a foreknowledge of what we're coming to meet.
That's right.
But now they have been marked. If you would like to play them before, let them go on with cross-examination.
All right.
Then tomorrow, you play them, bring the instruments here.
All right, they're all here already.
I mean, cross-examination not just ended.
So that the attention will shift away from you. That's the trick.
With apologies to His Lordship and honorable members of the tribunal, I have come in late and I'd like to appear for Major General Mbagashi. My name is Abdul Muyassir Laden.
Yes, 19. General, sir, may I have the pleasure of having you in the witness box? Would somebody remind the general of his oath, please? General, that he's under oath.
Remind him that he's still under oath.
General, you have been, sorry. General, sir, you have been reminded of your oath to speak the truth and nothing but the truth before the commission.
Correct.
I also, on my own part, we want to remind you that I am proceeding with my cross-examination using the truth that is sharper than a two-edged sword.
Yes, my lord, and it's sharper than biscuit.
All right. Now, General, could you please give the General Exhibit 26 the minute of the meeting on the security of the state of the nation as at Monday, 4th day of May 1998. Exhibit 26.
Is the number of the exhibit?
Number exhibit 26, my lord.
26.
Yes, you recalled having that particular meeting.
Yes, I recall having participated in this particular meeting.
Yes. By participation, you mean that you were not the only one at that meeting. Am I correct?
Correct. One man cannot participate alone.
Yes. It would appear that at the last time, before we adjourned, you had a problem recalling the participants at that meeting.
Not that I had the problem of recalling, but I say I could not recall all. I made mention of some.
Okay. Please, could you hand over exhibit exhibit 37 to the witness? I just want to assist you a bit. The report, the bulky report. Yes, that's 7. That is it. Yes. Please take a look at page 4 of that report.
Yes, my lord.
Paragraph F.
Correct.
There is a list of names there. 1 AVM Idi Musa I Musa, Brigadier General I.A. Sabo, Brigadier General Y Muazu, Colonel M.B. Marwa, Colonel K.J. Olu, Colonel H.I. Ali, Colonel H.I. Shuaibu, that is on page 5 now. Colonel F.O. Omenka, Lieutenant Colonel Abdallah, Major H. Al-Mustapha.
Correct, I've seen it.
Of all the personalities mentioned there, I'll be correct to say that Major Mustapha was the junior officer of all of you there.
Correct, he was the only major.
Are you aware if Major Mustapha also took a similar oath that you took in 1992 when you were commissioned an officer after graduating from the Nigerian Defense Academy?
1992, I was already a colonel. It was
1972, sir. Sorry, sir.
I took my oath in 1972. I don't know what type Mustapha took, whether it's the same or it has been amended.
Yes. Would I be correct to say that as a major, he was bound to carry out the orders of officers placed order above him by order of seniority? Am I correct?
Of course, where such officers are directly his commanders.
Yes. And it is therefore correct to say that by virtue of his rank as a major, he was subject to the compliance of an order dished out by you, a brigadier general. Am I correct?
Mustapha was under the late C&C. I could not have possibly given him an order. I said under command.
Yes.
Yes.
Assuming Mustapha was under your command, he would have been subject to the compliance of any orders given by you.
That is, if he were under command, yes.
Correct. Now, General, sir, I would want you to not to miss the primary responsibility of this particular forum. If I may remind you, we are supposed to do things using our past experiences for the purpose of achieving reconciliation for the overall interest of this nation.
Based on the truth, yes.
Yes. Now, your duty was to collect information, process same for the purpose of the national security of this country.
Yes, I'm not the only one in it.
And you had a direct access to the presidency with any such information that was collated or collected and processed by you that is of interest to the security of this nation. Am I correct?
Yes, not only to the presidency, but to the intelligence community meeting too.
Yes. So I will be correct to say that whatever information you got after being processed were being acted upon by the final recipient of such information. Am I correct?
I wouldn't say so, because even like I gave the example of the refinery that day, if you go to the filling station, some people go with jerrycan to buy petrol. I cannot say that they use that petrol for their cars.
Okay. So, but if for any reason the information that you collected and processed and finally given to the presidency is acted upon, and such information turned out not to be correct, would you be kind enough to accept the responsibility for giving such an information?
Not only accepting the responsibility, but I will also be prepared to be punished for misleading.
Yes. I would therefore be correct to say that whatever information that misled the presidency, the intelligence community ought to be held responsible for it.
Not all informations are emanated from the intelligence community. There are various sources. The presidency was as the apex. The president has a wider panoramic view of the whole country.
Yes.
There are even people sending him intelligence report from overseas,
yes,
and so on and so forth. So
okay,
it's not only the intelligence community.
Now please take a look at Exhibit 26. How do you explain what could be the name given to such a meeting comprising the personalities that participated in that meeting? What could be the name of that meeting?
The name of?
That particular meeting you held.
The topic is there, minute of a meeting on security state of the nation.
Yes. It is common knowledge that Colonel Marwa, or Brigadier General Marwa, was the Lagos State Administrator. In what capacity did he participate in that meeting?
Well, as I told you, I cannot say categorically of other people. I made mention of the ones that I can remember. Mind you, this is a report, which I'm not part of it, and anybody could write any name.
Are you saying that General Marwa did not take part in that meeting?
I'm not saying so, but I say that I cannot recall.
Okay. Can you recall one Colonel H.I. Shuaibu participating in that meeting?
I said it that day that I remember.
Colonel H.I. Shuaibu.
I said it. If you recall the transcript, you will see that I made mention of CDI, myself, Colonel Olu, Shuaibu, Omenka, Sule, Hamza, and I said the rest I probably cannot recall.
I'm really interested in knowing the capacity in which Colonel H.I. Shuaibu took part in that meeting. In what capacity did he participate?
This is the state of the nation.
Yes.
And the nation is all-encompassing. If there had been some input, like I told you, it's not only the intelligence community that feed the presidency with information of intelligence.
Yes.
The state administrators in their capacities as chief security officers of their various states do also such a thing.
Yes. Was Colonel H.I. Shuaibu an administrator?
He was in Plateau State.
In Plateau State at that particular time?
Yes.
Yes. What about Lieutenant Colonel M.M. Abdallah?
He was the ADC to the late CNC.
Okay. Now, please take a look at paragraph 2 of Exhibit 26.
Yes.
Paragraph 2D.
Yes.
Would you be kind enough to read that paragraph to the hearing of the Commission?
The intelligence community. It was observed that the Nigerian intelligence community had not been meeting and that this was not good enough for security.
Yes.
The recent visit by Chief of Army Staff to security group, which received wide negative publicity, in the press was considered ominous.
At this time, you were the DMI.
Correct.
Could you please explain to this commission why that visit was considered ominous?
It was ominous in the sense, as I told you, the Chief of Army Staff called me in Jos on Saturday. I can't remember the exact date, but it was a weekend Saturday, to tell me that he was going to visit security group in the middle of the week. I asked him, I say, is it Wednesday or Thursday? He said either Wednesday or Thursday, that he was going to visit security group. And I told him that, okay, we were coming to Lagos because at that time, myself as the DMI, Colonel Frank as the CEO of the security group, were not in, and the 2IC was on pass. So I told him that, okay, we are coming on Monday to prepare a brief for him so that we will be on the ground to guide him on whatever he wanted to visit the place. But that did not happen. That same Sunday and Monday, as I said, we called Mustapha to send a plane for us to travel to Lagos because we were occupied with the SIP going on in Jos.
That is why...
I'm coming. I have not finished. When we were getting ready to move to the airport, telephone call came to me from my office that the Chief of Army Staff was already in the security group. So why violating the day that we agreed upon? Why did he go when I was not there, the CEO was not there, the 2IC was not there, only a captain that was recently posted?
Are you okay?
For now, you asked me that question. For now,
okay.
That's the reason.
Now, do you know one Colonel Ahmad?
Of course, I know Colonel Ahmad.
Was he there at the time the Chief of Army Staff?
Colonel Ahmad, if you want to know, is the mole for General Bamei in DMI.
Was he present at the DMI at the time of the visit?
He was in the DMI. He is at the DMI headquarters.
Would you say that Colonel Ahmad was a senior officer or a captain?
Whether he was a senior officer or not, the fact remains, why was the breach of agreement of Wednesday or Thursday?
Was the Chief of Army Staff under any duty to inform you of his movement to any unit, including the DMI?
He was not under any duty, but morally, he should have told me at that time that, no, I don't require you. But he said, yes, you can come. I'm coming on Wednesday or Thursday. But he went on that same day.
I put it to you that you never had any agreement with General Bamei. He merely called you on a platform of courtesy to say, I was going to go to DMI. I put it to you that you never had any agreement that you were going to be around.
I totally disagree with your putting it to me, and I stand by my words that he violated the agreement we reached.
Thank you very much. You gave an evidence before this honorable commission that your duty or your stock in trade is not to move to and fro Nigeria and looking for where to sow discord.
Correct?
Yes. And I did put it to you that you in fact wanted to sow religious disharmony between the person of General Bamei and General Abacha.
I will be the very last man to sow any religious discord. My wife is a Christian. She is married to her father was a reverend father before he died. Will I start sowing the seed of religious discord from my house? And she is a good Christian. She has not claimed not to be a good Christian, as your client has said in Lagos, quoting Genesis, and that he was not a good Christian. What he failed to tell the world at that time, the truth was that he is a retired Christian.
Well, this is not a religious forum. I would have educated you or want to be a Christian and whether there can be a retired.
I have my reason for saying that he's a retired Christian.
Let us go on with this cross-examination.
Let's go.
You did state that General Bamai has a pathological hatred for Islam.
I said it because he is a retired Christian, like I said.
Are you still maintaining that particular position?
Of course, I maintain it because I cited that example.
Okay.
And I told you that I am the last to be sowing the seed of religious discord because my wife is a Christian. She is still a Christian. I at times carry her to her church when there is no driver.
Okay.
And wait for her to finish her prayer and come.
Thank you very much for assisting Christianity. Do you know who was General I.R. Bamai's military assistant when he was the chief of army staff?
Yes.
Is he a Christian or a Muslim?
He's a Muslim. He's a Muslim.
Do you know the security officer?
Yes.
General Bamai, was he a Christian, a Muslim, or a retired Christian?
He was a Muslim.
Yes.
He's a Muslim, rather.
Do you know the person that prepares General Bamai's food, meal? One Alhaji Adisa, a warrant officer, is a Muslim.
I don't go into his kitchen, so I don't know.
Now, I'm telling you now that his own cook is one Alhaji Adisa and is a Muslim.
I told you, I don't know.
Do you also know that all the drivers to General I.R. Bamai are Muslims? Do you know?
I don't know all his drivers.
You don't know. Do you also know that General I.R. Bamai has a blood sister that is a Muslim and she is still surviving? He has not killed her. Do you know?
You are telling me now.
You don't know General Sabo?
Who?
You don't know that General I.R. Bamai. Would you just please be...
Well, there is one that we said here in this our write-up, which he sponsored her to Saudi Arabia based on the price because he slept with her.
His sister?
A cousin or something is in the write-up.
Okay. Now, General Bamai was the chief of army staff, and before him was General Salihu Ibrahim.
Come again, please.
General Bamai was the chief of army staff, and before him was General Salihu Ibrahim. Not immediately.
Not immediately, yes.
Yes. General Salihu Ibrahim is a Muslim.
Yes.
Before General Bamai, there was also another chief of army staff who was a Muslim.
His immediate predecessor, Kazir.
Yes. Could you please tell the name of...
I say Major General Kazir.
Kazir. Is it true that General Bamai, as chief of army staff, lived in the same residence called Flagstaff House?
Correct.
Do you know who built the mosque in that particular house?
I don't know. I know
Would I be correct to say that your hatred for Bamai proceeded out of ignorance on the ground of religion?
No, it's not out of ignorance. It's out of his behavior and actions.
Would you consider one who has built a mosque as one who does not want Islam?
You could build a mosque for your own, for a different purpose. You can do that to hoodwink rather. Because I told you the other time, when he told me to write this investigation, to write a report about these activities of Bamai, I wrote a very beautiful preliminary investigation for him. Because that is part of the game plan.
Well, we all have seen that you lied in that regard.
I didn't lie, and I don't lie.
At the time you alleged General Abacha briefed you on those publications that you carried out, were you the only one that was briefed?
On the...
That you should go ahead and be making publications against the person of General I.R. Bamai. You stated here that it was done on the instructions
It was done on the instruction of General Abacha, and I this reason why that there was no problem at the production, because I took the handwritten draft, gave it to the CSO, who gave to General Abacha's MA, one Captain Lawal then,
Please
to print,
don't
type.
bring Mustapha into this matter. According to your evidence, you said Mustapha is not privy to that publication.
But I said it that I took the handwritten draft to him. I said it that day. I took the handwritten draft to him. I said that he was not directly, but he was remotely in the know of the thing. He was he also
my question to you is this.
Yes.
When General Abacha briefed you,
yes,
how many of you did he brief?
I was with him. And I came and met these other officers and told them, let's go ahead and start writing.
You were with him how? Were you the only person he briefed, or together with these officers that call themselves concerned officers? Were you the only one that was...
I had access to General Abacha, like I said before.
General Abacha briefed you alone?
Yes.
So, because it is only General Abacha that can confirm this or not, and you know he's dead, you decided to lie to him.
Instances, his MA, type it. If I had any hidden agenda, the MA to the lessee will be the last man I will give such a job to do.
I put it to you that you have lied even to the death.
I am not lying. I will not lie. I'm constant.
Yes.
On the truth.
So where did you brief the others?
I called them.
Where?
Where I briefed them.
Where
it was in Lagos, in my house.
You briefed them in Lagos?
Yes.
In your house?
Initially it was, sorry, I'm coming. Initially, when we got this instruction, we were in Jos. We were in Jos that time. So we, Colonel Olu and Colonel Omenka, who were with me in Jos, I briefed them. Then we started the production. Then later on, we also met in Lagos. That time we had Salah break. So we moved to Lagos and completed the distance, the draft.
Yes, go ahead.
Thereafter, I took it to the villa where the MA to the lessee type it.
General Sabo.
Yes.
Would I be correct that you lack the capacity to carry out your wicked intentions and desires all by yourself? You have to co-opt people.
I told you earlier on that a wickedness of your client was also replied in the same vein, if you take that one as wickedness. I didn't like the capacity, but this is a job that requires a lot of input from everybody. Hence, we formed a team and wrote it as directed. So you cannot reinvent the wheel. We were already investigated in this matter during the SRP when we were detained for 6 months and 1 day. So you cannot reinvent the wheel. The fact is there.
My Lord. My Lord.
At the end of the question.
No, my Lord, I would like to interject here. I think my learned friend should desist from calling, from insulting the witness while he is testifying. Please, I think this should not happen at all. The witness is here to answer questions put to him by the commission, and his answers are to the commission. Any insult to him is an insult to the commission.
Well, it is on record that the witness himself did insult my client severally. Well, it's okay if rented crowd will be brought here to be clapping.
I am the last man to rent any crowd because I don't have the wherewithal. I didn't steal.
Well,
my records are there. When we were being investigated, all the bank accounts were checked. There was no stealing.
Witness, you shouldn't insult counsel. Counsel, you shouldn't insult witness.
Thank you, my lord. Please take a look at Exhibit 26. Can you read paragraph 2B thereof?
I think that day I read this, the same paragraph B.
Please, could you read paragraph 2B of Exhibit 26, please?
I said I read it that day.
He wants you to read it again.
Okay, my lord, as you please, sir. Adoption of the CNC and the military. It was observed with concern that the military was yet to issue an official statement on the adoption of the CNC as the party's flag bearer for the next presidential election. It was also observed that although a meeting was held about 6 weeks ago mandating Chief of Army Staff to discuss the issue with the CNC, nothing of that sort had taken place. On this, a member opined that the Chief of Army Staff was definitely not in support of the transition program and that he had become a danger to it, to all. It was felt that a joint meeting of PRC and Council of State should be called where the issue of the CNC's adoption vis-a-vis the military would be tabled. It was suggested that the Chief of Army Staff be mandated to brief the press. There is a small blank, I don't know what it is. It's not clear, of the proposed long sitting.
Yes. Would I be tasking much of your intelligence if I ask you what DMI clearance means with relation to officers traveling abroad?
DMI's clearance?
Yes. Do you know what it means?
Yes.
Could you explain to this commission what that means, please?
Yes, you have to get clearance to travel abroad.
Yes.
There is a special form, I cannot remember the nomenclature now,
yes,
which is being signed, and that will allow you to be cleared at the airport to proceed.
Yes. Now, is it an offense for an officer to travel abroad without a DMI clearance?
It is an offense.
Is it an offense for an officer to leave his unit without any leave or pass?
Yes.
I'll be correct to say that in military terms you call it award.
Correct.
Do you know how the absence of Colonel Kemi Peters was reported? Do you know you spoke about Kemi Peters?
Yes.
How was his absence from the War College reported?
Yes, it was reported that he ran away, haven't had his name as one of the people who had been arrested in that coup.
Yes. Now, where did he run away to, if you may know?
I didn't know because by the time he came back, an investigation was carried out. I was in detention, so I don't know the
but
that emerged.
At the time he ran away, you were the DMI.
Correct.
Did you issue any DMI clearance to Peters?
He was in the National War College.
Yes.
The DMI is not supposed to be issuing clearance for everybody.
Yes.
It's the tri-service institution. Traveling of officers in those institutions are always cleared by the Chief of Defense Intelligence.
Yes. Are you saying now, if a participant at the War College intends to travel abroad, he does not require a DMI clearance?
He requires a clearance from the CDI because National War College is a tri-service institution.
Does he require a DMI clearance? As an army officer, does he require a clearance from the DMI? That is my question.
That is what I'm saying. You are referring to the National War College. National War College is not an army institution per se. It's a tri-service institution.
So there was no necessity for a DMI clearance by Colonel Peters?
I told you that there is the need for CDI to clear them because anybody from tri-service institution, National War College, Command and Staff College, NDA, DHQ, it's all the responsibility of the CDI.
Sorry, sir.
I was only concerned with Army.
If I may ask, what were your qualifications that made it eligible for you to become the DMI?
There was no qualification as such. I was appointed, and it behoved on me to comply with my appointment.
You did not undertake any intelligence course?
I did when I was going to become the DA in Cotonou, Defense Attaché in Cotonou. I attended an intelligence course at the DIA.
Now, are you aware of a brigadier general who traveled on a Friday to London, returned on Sunday without a DMI clearance? Can you recall such a brigadier general and what eventually happened to him?
He was of the pay, and we conducted the report, investigated him, forwarded the investigation to the Army headquarters. What became of him, I cannot rightly say, because at that time I was preparing to go for my work college.
But was he punished?
Yes.
He was punished for traveling without a DMI clearance.
Exactly.
Yes. Now, even though you insist that those publications carried out by you were given with the instructions of the Chief of Army of the CNC, now you were not bold enough to own up to those publications when you were confronted.
Not that I was not bold enough not to. They had to prove to me, because when they called me, like I told you, when they called me to confirm me this thing, I said the handwritten, I said it to the panel. The handwritten, I initiated it. That is why it hurts me when Colonel Frank is not here. We were brought face to face with him at the panel, and he was trying to deny. I said, no, don't deny. I was the one who sent those manuscript this thing to you to send to the press for publication.
General Sabo, sir, I put it to you that when you were confronted with the handwritten document, you denied it.
Bring the videotapes of my denial of the SIP, because there were videotapes.
Before you were arrested, you were confronted with it and you denied, which necessitated the Provost Marshal having to clear the handwriting with a previous writing you did. You denied
No, the Provost Marshal never called me on that issue. When did he call me to clear?
Well, my Lord, I seek to tender this document in evidence.
Yes, I've seen it.
Yes, no, I have applied to tender it in evidence.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a copy. Hello? Hello? You have one? Let me see your own. Oh, you put me. Pardon, my Lord? My Lord, it shows the prelude to the arrest of General Sabo on the handwritten document which was tendered. Pardon, my Lord?
All right. Which portion do you want to use? This one?
No, my Lord, I'm tendering the document as it is.
Yes. Mark it exhibit and let us know the portion you want to use.
Yes,
What is the next exhibit? Exhibit, what is this?
My Lord, the content of that document is a report. And at page 3, which is recommendation, because, my Lord, they now had to take...
Let's mark it first. What's the exhibit number? 53. Mark it and then give it back to you. Exhibit 53.
I'm much obliged. My Lord, in order not to waste the time of the Commission, I just want to give a summary of what the report contains. My Lord, that handwritten document was intercepted, and it was necessary because there was a denial to own up to it, that it be verified. So a handwritten document made by General I.A. Sabo was taken along with a page of that handwritten document, and a police report, handwritten writing expert report, was gotten confirming that it was General I.A. Sabo's handwriting. It was on that basis that he was arrested on that particular document. That is the essence of this particular Exhibit 53.
Read out the conclusion.
Recommendation. In view of the facts above, it is recommended that Brigadier General I.A. Sabo, retired, be arrested for interrogation on the suspected document, his houses be searched for any further incriminating document of this nature and others. C. Further search of Colonel Frank O. Omenka, retired, houses both in Lagos and the village is necessary for other suspected incriminating items, including documents. D. Colonel K.J. Olu, the suspected mole in DIA, should be interrogated and his house searched for possible evidence. Report hereby forwarded for your study and further directive, please. That is the recommendation. Now, sir, I see from the totality of your evidence that you take pleasure in heaping every blame on General Bamayi, even when in fact the responsibility is totally yours.
I told you, and the letter is there. It was dated 20th October. This particular letter you tendered now, it was dated 20th October. I'm coming.
Misunderstand me.
I understand you very well, and I have to answer you clearly. Because you know where I'm heading to. That is why you are trying to distort my lines of thought.
Please go on. Go on.
This letter was dated 20th October 1998.
Yes.
20th October 1998, I was already almost 3 months into retirement.
Yes.
That was the day, it was a Thursday, I remember very well, that I was arrested that same day.
Yes.
This letter was signed from Lagos. The contents of the handwritten distance were intended to be published on the pages of newspaper.
Yes.
On the person of General Bamayi.
Yes.
General Bamayi was not the head of state, he was the chief of army staff.
Yes.
So why the emphasis on classified documents? When General Bamayi was retired in May 1999, before his arrest in October, the same October again that we were arrested, before his arrest on that same October, he did not hand over all the classified documents with him. He is not an exception in rendering of classified documents. In fact, he tendered secret documents to this panel because he had the benefit that his houses were not searched, and that is why he was able to keep these documents and other things that would have been also incriminating.
Well, thank you very much, General. Several classified documents have been tendered before this commission. I'm only happy that you did
Why
not...
are you emphasizing that my house should be checked for classified documents? Why I'm trying to bring the import of this is to show you, because the commission needs to see the difference between a military dispensation and a civilian dispensation. General Bamayi is a beneficiary of democracy. That is why his houses were not searched. I am a victim of military dispensation because when we wanted to write, even in retirement, as a free citizen, we were clamped down. That's the import.
I, in fact, commend your openness. As at least you have not come here to claim any protection under the Secret Oaths Act like somebody did. I'm very much happy with that, and I'm so glad with all the things that you have been saying, except that it has helped this commission to know more about the person of General I.A. Sabo.
And the person
now, what I'm talking
yes.
about is this. I put it to you that you take pleasure in heaping blames on General Bamai, even when there are matters squarely within your own precinct.
The problems here, as I said before, I am coming, the issue here, as I said before, and I will always say it, is that General Bamai happened to be the fountainhead of all the problems that happened at that particular dispensation. We are in Dia's case. I thought I was coming to answer strictly on Dia's this testimony that I gave. And now there is a rigmarole going on, revisiting an issue that we were punished for 6 solid months. We were punished on that. And now it is being revisited to wear me out so that I will have nothing to say when I'm worn out. That is why you are insisting that I should read in publications that I was not the author.
Well, all those would be determined by the commission. We have tendered our exhibits as part of our evidence before this commission.
That is why I'm also contributing to the commission's
Now, the point I'm getting at is this. You granted an interview where you also lied about the circumstances leading to the death of your son. I sympathize with you, but you did not tell the truth. You know that your son, who was at the NDA, was a sickler. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Now, you also passed through the Defense Academy.
Yes.
You know how rigorous the training in the Defense Academy is.
Yes.
Would you be kind enough to tell this honorable commission that if you had disclosed to the medical team at the time of the entry of that your son to the Defense Academy that he was a sickler, would he have been